When an organization needs to adapt their operations team structure, IT leaders can use best practices from DevOps and site reliability engineering. Let's examine each of these, starting with DevOps. DevOps, or Developers Operations, is a philosophy that seeks to create a more collaborative and accountable culture within developer and operations teams. It's important to understand that although DevOps philosophy highlights how IT teams can operate, DevOps doesn't give explicit guidance on how an organization should implement practices to be successful. To understand the philosophy, Google has outlined 5 objectives of DevOps. First, it allows organizations to reduce silos. Businesses can increase and foster collaboration by breaking down barriers across teams. Second, organizations need to accept failure as normal. Computers are inherently unreliable, so leaders can't expect perfect execution. Third, organizations need to implement gradual change. Small, incremental changes are easier to review. And in the event that a gradual change does release a bug in production, it allows teams to reduce their time to recover, making it simple to roll back. Fourth, businesses should leverage tooling and automation. Identifying manual work that can be automated is key to working efficiently and focusing on the tasks that matter. And finally, organizations need to measure everything. Measurement is a critical gauge for success. There's no way to tell whether what you're doing is successful if you have no way to measure it. Site reliability engineering, or SRE, is a discipline that applies aspects of software engineering to operations. The goals of SRE are to create ultra-scalable and highly reliable software systems. SRE emerged organically as a job function within Google in the early 2000s. At the time, some software engineers were responsible for both writing code and running production systems. As a result, these engineers were renamed Site Reliability Engineers to better describe the kind of hybrid work they were doing. Not every organization that embraces these practices will use the job title of Site Reliability Engineer or refer to Site Reliability Engineering as a team function, and that's okay. What's important are the best practices central to SRE. Let's look at the best practices now and how they align with DevOps objectives. Remember, the 5 objectives of DevOps are to reduce organizational silos, accept failure as normal, implement gradual change, leverage tooling and automation, and measure everything. Here's how these objectives align with SRE best practices. First, SRE emphasizes shared ownership of production between developers and operations. Together, they define service level objectives, or SLOs, calculate error budgets, and determine reliability and order work priorities. Culturally, this shared ownership promotes shared vision and knowledge, and a need for improved collaboration and communications. Second, SREs believe that accepting failure as normal helps to build an iterative, collaborative culture. One way this is done is by holding a blameless lessons learned discussion after an incident occurs. This practice helps SREs improve their understanding of system failures in order to identify preventative actions and ultimately reduce the likelihood or impact of a similar incident. Third, when implementing gradual changes, SREs aim to reduce the cost of failure by rolling out changes to a small percentage of users before making them generally available. Culturally, this promotes more prototyping and launching iteratively. Next, in order to leverage tooling and automation, SREs focus on toil automation. In software engineering, toil is the type of work that is tied to running a production service. Toil automation, therefore, reduces the amount of manual, repetitive work. Finally, measure everything means tracking everything related to toil, reliability, and the health of their systems. To foster these practices, organizations need a culture of goal setting, transparency, and data-driven decision-making. They also need the tools to monitor their cloud environment and to identify whether they're meeting their service level objectives. SRE shifts the mindset from 100% availability to 99.99% or 99.999% availability. This means that updates are pushed out iteratively and continually, but only require seconds or minutes of downtime. It's important to remember that DevOps and SRE have the same intended outcome. They're both designed to break down organizational barriers to help deliver better customer experiences faster. In the next video, I'll present a few Google Cloud solutions that help organizations measure everything and maintain visibility of their cloud environment.